Hello bà con, bữa nay ngày 5 tháng 6 2025 bà con. Em có ở trên thành phố Gan. Bà con tổ chức một cái lễ cái bằng là lễ này nè bà con. Tổ chức là cái lễ này bà con. Thì bên trong cũng có nhiều thị trưởng Nghi Vien vô trong lắm bà con. Này là bên ngoài là chút xíu là người ta đãi ăn bên ngoài nè bà con. Tất cả người ta đãi ăn bên ngoài nè, có chicken wrap rồi đó nè, khi cà phê nè, phở bu lao nè, cà phê Trung Nguyên nè, có bánh khọt lấy đi nè, có broda nè, có nhiều tiệm thức ăn nè, người ta lại đây người ta đãi ăn thử món đó bà con. Đó. Đây là mấy hình này là hình cái cổng chào của thành phố Santana nè. Bên trong đông lắm bà con, nhưng mà bên trong chưa có bắt đầu bà con, mới nói chuyện vòng vòng thôi, chút xíu mới vô trong sao bà con. Đó. Đây là mấy cái hình này là dân cử đòi chụp hình nè bà con. Tình hình là thấy báo chí là thấy cũng lai rai. Đó. Có anh Tết. Đây là cái bằng là lễ kỷ niệm 50 năm người Việt phát triển cộng đồng, cũng giống như của hội Hoa Ba bà con. Mà Hoa Ba là 50 năm người Việt cái bằng 50 năm người Việt toàn tiểu bang giúp đỡ nước Mỹ. Còn này là cộng đồng Việt Nam phát triển Lý Đô Sài Gòn đó bà con. Cái tên là tên vậy. Thì bên trong cũng đông lắm bà con.
People enjoy soccer, so that's Vietnamese right there. So the Vietnamese American love sport. So soccer is one of them. We want to bring in food. We want to be known for a foodie destination. As you've seen over the years, you see a lot of really nice Vietnamese restaurants coming into our town, and we're welcoming one. And we, with my colleague, we are trying to make policy that is welcome for everyone to come and to open their restaurant, because we want to be known for sport, foodie destinations, and last will be art. And art, well, I guess it's something that we have to define among our colleagues and with the community. What would you like us to be known for? So those are the things that we're trying to embrace. Thank you. Appreciate it, Council Member.
Hi everyone. Thai Viet fan here. Xin kính chào quý đồng hương. I'm the first Vietnamese American elected in the city of Santa Ana, and so I'm so proud. Thank you. That took a long time for us to have Vietnamese American representation in the city of Santa Ana. So for those of you who are Vietnamese, let's get real here, right? We didn't grow up saying go to Little Saigon. We said go to Santa Ana, right? Go to Santa Ana. I'm going to Santa Ana. If you have family in Texas, Virginia, they're still saying, hey, I'm visiting Santa Ana, right? Because in 1975, the first grocery store opened by a Vietnamese person was opened in Santa Ana. And what I have done with my incredible team, which represents the diversity in the city of Santa Ana, you know, we have all these different businesses and cultures. What we have done is to remind our community that the city of Santa Ana is the home and the origin of Little Saigon in America. We are where the diaspora began. And so when I became an elected official, I made sure that we have a Vietnamese community liaison, Tina Lee, who's here, who works to ensure that we have translation services, that we work with our news media, and that we bring in businesses into the city of Santa Ana. We rebuilt the Little Saigon sign that was destroyed 15 years ago to make sure that we are reminding our community that Santa Ana is Little Saigon. And I want to make sure I give a shout out to my colleague Jesse Lopez, Councilmember Lopez, who's here, who supported all of these different events. And finally, we have, for the first time in Santa Ana's history, we started the Mid-Autumn Festival as well as the Let Luna New Year Festival, all free for all members of the community. Because what are we doing? We are making sure that residents in Little Saigon know that Santa Ana supports our culture, supports our history, supports our heritage, and wants to make sure that all the businesses that are interested in opening in Santa Ana can do that. We are here to support you, and we're so excited to be here. And I'm just really excited to talk more about the planning, building, safety, everything we need to do to make sure all your businesses can thrive in Santa Ana. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, I think the next question is perfect for me to kind of tailor, you know, from your response, and being the first elected Vietnamese American. The great thing about the last 50 years, you know, is the struggles and the opportunities and the challenges we've had building the community and the next generation. Our median income, one of the findings from our studies from 2010 to now, has increased from 60,000 to 80,000. But we're still lagging behind the Orange County and getting some parity to that. That's going to require some innovation and investment. Can you talk a little bit about how we preserve the culture? At the same time, think about how we would innovate and inspire new economic talent that comes in to our cities to help us get to that parity.
Would you like me to start?
Yes, please.
Okay, so some of you may or may not know, I am probably one of the youngest Vietnamese American elected in the country. I'm 37. And I was, so let me get back. I'm Vietnamese, but I was born in Thailand near a refugee camp and grew up in Santa Ana. So how do we get this next generation of leaders to want to be entrepreneurs in the city, right? We have, for example, streamlined our permitting process in the city. Former Director Min Thai, now Assistant City Manager. We have the PDX program, where whether you're building residential or general, TI improvements in your business, you can get a permit over the counter, right? We are making it easier for young people to learn about business in the city of Santa Ana. We have office hours with our economic development team so that anyone who has questions can come in. And the other thing that we're doing to make sure that the next generation of leaders are still growing their businesses but not forgetting our culture is that we're making sure to reach out to heritage businesses, long-term businesses, and say, what can we do to help you meet this next generation of social media, of Google reviews, of Yelp. And we work with the Vietnamese American Chamber, the Santa Ana Chamber, and Travel Santa Ana to make sure that everyone learns about the variety of businesses in the city of Santa Ana. We have mom and pop restaurants that have been there longer than I've been alive, to the largest gel capsule manufacturing company of Rockers and Pharma in the country. Santa Ana is here to cater to any type of business that's interested in growing or starting.
Thank you so very much. Mayor, asking the same question.
Okay, would you mind recap the question again? We'll make sure.
Absolutely.
It's all.
We're preserving the culture. At the same time, we know we need to move forward by inspiring new talent to be here, through innovation. So how can the city help with moving the community forward, bringing in new initiatives to inspire, so we can keep the talent, but also bring new talent in to the world soccer?
Great questions. Well, a lot of it is it's going to depend on our amazing staff. For example, amazing staff, of course, are city managers, but also encompass many of our executive team. One of them is the reference to permitting process we have, or executive team we use Omar Boy. He handles all the permitting process and understanding the need of the community. And how can you learn any cultures in Brazil and make it happen? You must understand the culture. That's number one. You must listen, understand the needs, what are they looking for. By understanding the culture and understanding how the Vietnamese, thinking, and it helps the city to craft certain idea that they bring to council. We're thinking changing this policy to make it work for the community, particularly, for example, to the other side of the community. But we, as a council, we take those input and we, among council, we discuss what is best for the city. What is, that's how we derive to conclusions. But we depend on all of our solution based on their input, because they're the one who's really doing the work behind the scene. As you know, we are only policymakers. The real work behind the work are staff, and so we really depend on their creativity, on their guidance. And for the biggest challenge that we find that in terms of Saigon Vietnamese community is a lot of small business owners is the generational transition. How small mom and pop business, how do they transfer those business to their children? And that's the most challenging for most business owners. Even my own business. My kids said, no, we want to do that. It's very hard. So how do we get to that stage to make them understand this is who we are? This is our traditions, but yet we have to adapt to this new environment to make a living. And that is I think that's the most challenging problem that most small business, it's particularly the not just the Vietnamese culture, but many culture, like the Latino culture, to pass that on, that small business to their children, to keep moving. But I always remind my kids is, remember where we came from. Remember our path and where we at, and where do you want to be in the next 20 years, next 50 years. That will determine us. That's my answer.
Well, thank you, Mayor. And anytime you're right, business transition, next generation is a big part of the challenge. We have a Center for Family Business that focuses primarily on that issue across the board. But absolutely, Vice Mayor.
Yes, thank you, and I agree with Mayor. We have a lot of long-standing businesses that have been in our community for generations, years, and the demographics are changing. We have a lot of second, third, and fourth generation of Vietnamese Americans that are coming up. The younger folks who are starting new businesses, they understand. They know that the technology is a must. The social media to get your company, your business recognized, to get that traffic in to come to your business. The issue we have is these older generation businesses to get them to recognize that, to understand that the demographics are changing, that their customer base needs are changing. There's so much diverse as far as their needs, their shopping, their dining experiences is different, their life experience is different, because they grew up here in America. They didn't have the experiences that their grandfather, their father, and mothers they had. So their experiences, their needs are different. Recognizing that for those older businesses, it's something they need to do. Here in Westminster, we recognize that, and recently we started up, it's called the Level Up Grant program that we did in our city by the leadership of our city manager and assistant city manager and team and council. and we advocated some funding to be able to have this program and partner up, like I mentioned earlier, with company SPDC, which we have here, and be able to offer this training to these small businesses, digital marketing, and what I mentioned earlier, the workforce, and they're there, and let the business community know that these resources are there, and that they went through this program where they went through that. We just graduated yesterday about 20 small businesses that went through this training program and succeeded, and they got their training, they got their check. It was a $5,000 check that we were able to award them, and they're still there. We're there for them as a city. Our staff, our team is there for them, and also the folks at SBCDC are there for them. And that's something that we have to make sure that these small businesses know that they have to evolve. They have to change because the customer base is changing. And we need them to succeed, because if they succeed, then we as a city succeed. So that's something that's a challenge, and I think us as a city, we have to be aware of those challenges and how can we help them to adapt. So I think it's something that we are recognizing, and we're going to continue to do as much as we can for these businesses.
Well said, Vice Mayor. You're right. Change is coming, whether we like it or not, and we need to be able to support them. Back to you, Mayor.
Thank you. I think we talk about change a lot and how do we sort of tackle that as maybe a positive or a negative, right? I think today's event is a perfect example. And what does it take to put on an event like this? Which, by the way, thank you to the City of Garden Grove hosting at the beautiful Great Wolf Lodge. Yes. Thank you to our staff for the incredible amount of work that it takes to put on an event like this. But to do something like this, you have to have collaboration, and that's something that I think the City of Garden Grove does really well. And that's something that we will need to be able to partner with the Little Saigon community to collaborate, to have that strong communication as well as to educate. We have businesses that are multi-generational, multifaceted. And so I think it's a lot about balancing too. It's balancing that Vietnamese heritage and that deep tradition, which is so heartfelt and so meaningful and has been such a driver for so many of the businesses that are here. But it's also, what are we shaping that economic future to look like for these businesses? And so I think that's where we come in and we provide those resources, as so many of you mentioned, and that education component is so vital. It's holding on to the cultural landmarks. It's making sure they have that language accessibility and that we're honoring those time-felt traditions, but also making sure that we're lifting those generational businesses. What's the next step? And what does your business look like moving forward? Is it modernizing the shopping center that your business is in? Do you need additional resources and help to lift your business into sort of this e-commerce and digital age? So I think all of these are important conversations that we need to have, and that's going to come through strong collaboration, and I believe we can do that.
Fantastic. I truly appreciate when you're leading into this, because the next question that I have for all of you is, the last panel talked about some of the major challenges they're seeing as business folks. One was access to capital, underinvestment, and it was a great answer about why they see underinvestment. The second one, I was talking to somebody and they talked about saying, hey, we own real estate, but we need these real estate to have infrastructure and need to take the next steps. Could you talk a little bit about what you see within your cities, the biggest challenge, as more and more small businesses are being established in Little Saigon, and how best you're able to support from a city perspective?
Sure. I think I did touch upon some of them. I think one of which was that Asian commercial centers. Some of these strip malls, they've been in our city. We're an Asian city, and we're doing the best that we can to keep up with that demand, but it's that modernization. And if the capital's not there, what can we do to help support? We know how impactful and important that restaurant is, that business is. But we need social media, the facade needs to match what's happening inside, right? So that's a constant conversation point. And also the workforce is getting older. And they're looking at these businesses saying, do my children or my children's children want to take on this business? Are they interested in this? What kind of succession plan do I have in place for myself? Am I going to be able to retire? Is that even a possibility? I think those are really hard and sometimes scary questions. And I think some business owners are looking at. We need to make sure that we're there providing assistance and providing those resources. There's also the language barrier issues that come time and time again. How are we working through those on a consistent basis? And I think it's preserving, again, we talked about this, but it's preserving that cultural identity, but also we need to embrace sort of what modern consumerism is today, in implementing that social media, making sure that they do have those solid reviews on Yelp, making sure that they are using the e-commerce and digital marketing and so forth. And so again, for us as a city, it does come back to collaboration, it comes back to education and outreach, and making sure that we're wrapping around these businesses, making sure they feel supported in an age where there's so much coming at them at all times. Do they have appropriate opportunities and pathways to grants and small business loans that will help with their business? Zoning updates, that's something that we can help them with. And then again, digital training, just that education component to help them succeed.
Thank you very much. Can I again request everyone to be a little quieter so that we can listen to our panelists? So thank you. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, thank you. Ditto to our mayor's office, and everything she said is correct. Us being there for our community, our business community, in any way, shape we can, offering that transportation services, streamlining the permitting process as much as possible, just helping them to recognize, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of our businesses need to recognize that a lot of folks nowadays are not carrying cash. That's just the new normal, the new reality that a lot of folks just don't carry cash anymore. They need to adapt to that to make sure that they're there providing that the needs for electronic payment. A lot of older generation, first generation Vietnamese Americans coming, they don't know that. It wasn't part of the culture back when they need to adapt to that. And that's just something they have to do to be successful. I don't carry cash because my wife doesn't let me carry cash, so I get $10 and she wants to receipt and change, But so I never. So I need to use that. So a lot of that's just a reality, and and just like I said earlier, we partnered up with this company that provides that technology training that they need if they don't know how to do that. It's just as much as we can help them, just with information, and then also tell them something that I see very important because, aesthetics, is what brings business. If you have a nice looking business storefront that's visually attractive, that's eye-appealing. And if people are maybe just driving by and they're like, oh, let's check that place out. That is also something that we need to also strive for business owners to know. You need to invest not only the technology, but also invest in the aesthetics of your business. Right now, social media is huge. And you look at a lot of different social media, art, art is everywhere. You implement some sort of art component to your business, it just attracts that interest from folks, especially young folks. A lot of young folks are all about the Instagram post. You go there, you dine there, you shop there, and you're sharing with your friends, and then that sharing brings other folks. Hey, such and such went to this business that day. Let's go see. And so that is the thing that we need to make sure that we instill it into our older generation. Or do they know that, understand that? And us as council, like I said earlier, either how can we support, by offering. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, that we also held for the first time, as far as I remember, our city manager and our staff, we put together a small business expo this past February. So that was also something that I'm proud of as being on council, and I'm proud of our staff, our city leadership, that they're forward thinking, they're being proactive. How can we support? How can we help in any which way we can? And I'm really proud of them. And just also our cities. I myself like to venture out, and I'm in Garden Grove, I'm in Fountain Valley, I'm in Santa Ana. I'm in Santa Ana a lot. So I need to have Because they do. They have, you go to Santa Ana and you have the Main Street, and what do they have there in Santa Ana is the food scene. The food scene in Santa Ana is ridiculous. It's so crazy. That's where we go. That's what I want for our city, to have that attractiveness, that interest that catches the eye of the younger community, the people who are on social media all the time. That's what we need to do. So,
Well said, thank you. Mayor?
Okay, so why is it matter? Why invest here? Why is it here? I want more reference to the city of Phat. Well, as you know, Little Saigon it's not just a neighborhood. It's the cultural and the economic heartbeat of the Vietnamese American community outside of Vietnam. In Orange County, there's about 230,000 Vietnamese American. And of course, with the collaboration with my colleagues, they just say, how can we invite people, not even, asking them to come. We make friendly, we try to achieve business-friendly policy. By inviting business-friendly policy, investor will come, whether it's through development or whether through restaurant. And that's how we invite investors to come to our city. In our city, we have a lot of amazing things offered every year. For example, through the Phat Valley Foundation community, they host a lot of events that gives back to the community. Now we'll talk about on the other side, not just business. So if you live in Phat Valley, you buy a home in Phat Valley, that community offers tremendous events throughout the years to have a great time with your family. But it's all free. And that's one event that those organizations. Of course, there's many other organizations, the Phat Valley Rotary Club, the Phat Valley Kiwanis Club, the Phat Valley Women's Club, and of course, the Phat Valley School Foundations. We have a lot of foundations, nonprofit foundations in our city that is here to embrace the community itself. Now, in terms of business side, like I said, that if we make friendly policy, business will come. There's no doubt. I have no doubt about that. As a matter of fact, we in the state create friendly policy. And California have lots of business because of that. So let's look into the root. How can we make this policy friendly? They will come. Now, there's a lot more event, for example, that is hosted by the city as well. Where can you have a city that hosts every year the Summerfest free firework? During the Christmas, you get to see Santa Claus, take pictures of Santa Claus, free. And there's and the fireworks. So our city offers a lot of great things for not only for investors that want to come into our city, but also homeowners who wants to raise a young family. Our city is being known as a nice place to live. But I want to take it to the next notch. It's also a nice place to do business, and it's a great place to have fun with your family. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. So before I continue, or before I answer, I just want to make sure I give a shout out to our city manager, Abel Nunez, assistant city manager, Kat Downs, assistant city manager, and Ty, as well as deputy city manager, and city ambassador. We can't do this work without them. So how do we get more people to invest in our cities and in our businesses? First, update your general plan. Make sure you can build commercial. Make sure you can build density. Make sure you can build homes that people can afford. Make sure you can have a variety of businesses, industrial. We have clean industrial coming into the city of Santa Ana, including, for example, Amarillo, that's expanding from the city of Costa Mesa because it was easy for the Seagram family to convert an office building into light industrial. We are allowing mixed use in most parts of our arterials. So if you're going down Harbor, you can build mixed use on that. If you're going down Bristol, you can build mixed use. We are making sure that developers and investors can build in Santa Ana. In fact, our city council, not could be, but I was a recused item, but we approved one of the largest projects in Santa Ana's history with related Bristol that's going to bring commercial commercial space, housing, public open space. What we are doing is making sure that people who want to build and transform the city of Santa Ana while respecting our culture and communities can do that. And what else are we doing? We're holding the Vietnamese Business Forum. We've done it several years in a row in collaboration with the Vietnamese American Chamber and the city to make sure that small businesses and large businesses that are interested in investing in Santa Ana knows that they have the resources to invest in Santa Ana. When you're talking about what is the city doing to make it more business friendly, as a council member, along with Councilmember Jesse Lopez, we supported a ballot measure that actually decreased business license taxes for 90% of businesses in Santa Ana because they're small businesses. We made sure that we are doing what we need to do to increase the value of investors in Santa Ana. And I want to make sure you all hear this statistic. Since 2018, the total assessed value in the city of Santa Ana has grown by $9 billion. That's a third of our total assessed value. The city's been around for 155 years. Why? Because we are making sure that anyone who wants to build, to establish a business, or to grow their business can do that. And we have a city council and city staff that are interested in helping you out. Thank you.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Well, before I ask this last question, I just want to let you know I'm going to have each of you make final remarks, a couple of minutes to all of you, so I should think about it. But the last question is really about looking to the future. These days, beyond 5 years, I don't think any of us can predict. Even 5 years is getting a challenge. As you look at 5 years from now, where do you see your city investing and growing? And how can Little Saigon community grow along with that? So really opening it up. And if you'd like to start, please go ahead. Yeah.
So the first thing is making sure that our Vietnamese American community knows that as a Vietnamese American council member, as a city with a large Vietnamese population, we are here to learn more. We want to know what the obstacles are. We want to make those policy changes and those ordinance changes so that we can invite more businesses. We are also going to, in my opinion, I won't be here in 5 years hopefully, but what we're doing is to create a foundation, right? Establishing a foundation, that's what we've been doing over the last 5-10 years in the city of Santa Ana, so that you can come in and it's easy, it's streamlined, and when you have a hiccup or you need support, we're there for you. And I hope that in 5 years, it won't be weird or it won't be odd for the Vietnamese American community to come back to Santa Ana, to see ourselves as a part of this growing community, because Santa Ana is growing. Santa Ana is developing and we are thriving. We want to make sure that as those property values and those businesses grow, the Vietnamese American community is going to be a part of it. I want to make sure of that.
Thank you.
Well, I can see in the next 5 years, first of all, I want to thank you, a few people. One of them is our city attorney, Colin Burns, and of course, our property regional director, Rob Brazell. With their effort, so a few months ago, we were able to negotiate with the county. So we acquired 16 additional acres for the Mile Square Park. So I want to thank you. Rob, would you please stand up to be recognized? So with their leadership, we acquired 16 acres additional to, or I believe 78 acres. So roughly we have about 100 acres. The entire Mile Square Park is 607 or 603 acres. So having said that, I can see in the next 5 years, hopefully through surveys and community outreach, we will know what our community wants. Not only Fountain Valley resident, but the surrounding, because this park is a regional park for every city. Hopefully through their input, we will know what we want to do with that 60 acres. Having said that, like I said earlier, the vision for Phat Valley is a city of sportsmanship. With that, keeping that in mind, what can we do? We will bring tourism through competitions. Whatever the city have authority decide, what should we host? And we'll be a city of competitions or sport event. And that transitions to what? When you go to sport, have a great time with your family, you gotta go eat somewhere, right? So like I said, second thing is the city to be known for foodies. Hopefully we'll have hundreds of great food, all kind of food for everyone to enjoy. And that's what I'd like to see in the next 5 to 10 years. Because as you know, anything in the planning takes time. So that is the most realistic approach at this point. Of course, like I said, policy is a big plus. We have to depend on our planning commissioners to revisit all the ordinance. Is our ordinance business friendly? Is our ordinance up to date? When was the last time that ordinance was visited? 70, 60? Are those ordinances still viable to today's environment? So we depend a lot of people, to put things together to make it work. And we also depend, of course, of our executive director, which is Omar Boy. He's the final person to double check on all compliance. So it requires everyone's team effort to move this wonderful city forward. And I hope that for those who are out there, whether in the audience in this great room or at home watching online, please come to see our city. Please come see our staff, see our city managers, see our planning director. Ask questions. What are you guys offering? What incentives do you guys have? How can I be part of your city? Ask all those questions. What are the challenges if I come to your city? You need to understand those to move forward, and you will, as a business owner, you will find the right path if this city is the right city for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, in the next 3 to 5 years is the question whether I want to see our city. Well, I think for me personally, I would want to enhance our little Saigon to create a sense of place. When folks come to the district of Little Saigon, so they know where they're at when they're standing there. Like branding, I think something that we need to work on is branding. During my travels, when we go to other parts, not of this state, but other states, we go to these other enclaves like Little Italy and New York and all these other places. When you go there, you know you're there. You know where you're standing. And that's something that I would want to see us to enhance that sense of place in Little Saigon. Because to me, in turn, if we concentrate and focus on that would attract tourism. I mean, right now, our Little Saigon Mosa, especially during the Lunar New Year area, we have a lot of folks visiting from other parts of the state, but also other parts of the country. They come to our tech parade, but we need to continue that, year round, where folks are coming because we're implementing these branding art, green art to attract tourism, create a bigger food scene in our community, in that business district of Little Saigon. That's where I want to see that. I want to see art implemented. I want to see us branding. I want to see, just also for the businesses to, like I said earlier, to focus on the digital technology to get that out there. But for me, I want to see us as a city do that, and also in collaboration with the businesses, so that they're part of this as well. It's not just us as a city. We're going to do I want to see us do our part, but I also want to see them, the businesses also see that it's an investment for their business to collaborate with the city, to bring that kind of atmosphere, that kind of, just beautification of the area through our other culture programs that we have on the scene. Not just art, visual art, but dancing and all that kind of art. That's all art. Bring that to the Little Saigon. So we have events in there. We're attracting tourism year round. That's where I want to see Little Saigon. I've said that Little Saigon for us in the city of Westminster is a jewel, but that jewel needs some polishing. We need to polish that jewel to make it more attractive for tourism. If people come to Disneyland, I want them to, visit Little Saigon and see what it's about. So that's what I want to see. We have the resources to do it. We have the lawns. We just gotta keep putting that pedal to the metal and try to get there as much as the push the issue. That's what I want to see.
love the other stuff, the creative side of it. So we'll come to you there.
Hey, thank you so much. In the next 3 to 5 years, that's not that long from now. Time goes by really fast. But I can tell you right now that the impact will just continue to grow. Little Saigon is definitely on the move. I think from the city's perspective, we need to make sure that we are continuing to pay our respects and find ways to highlight and show just the cultural significance that Little Saigon brings to Orange County and beyond. Also making sure that we're working on infrastructure improvements, bettering the community from the ground up. That is going to be extremely important. I'd like to see more done with our youth in the community, really fostering that next generation. What is it that you're going to do to be a piece of that legacy for generations to come? And is that helping young entrepreneurs? Is that young artists, young musicians? What is going to be your legacy, your impact on the Saigons moving into the future? So I think it's fostering that. And that really brings me to all art and culture. We are a tourism destination here in Orange County, in Garden Grove. We want to be able to highlight and show the world what Little Saigon has to offer. And I think the way you really do that, not to only show the impact of the small business community, but also to show the impact of the culture as a whole, is through art and through festivals and through activities where the entire community can come out and support and enjoy. And we are definitely doing that. I know one in particular, I think Cameron's still here. He has his Him Off the Brush art project that's going to be on the site of Vien's Beauty College. And I believe the beginning brush strokes are happening in just the next week. And it's a beautiful story to tell. And I think that's one of the most important parts. It's telling the story. And it's a story of true passion and authenticity. And when you tell a story like that, it's so truly authentic, people will come from everywhere to experience it. So I only see the sky's the limit for the cycle.
So that's a wonderful story. It's pretty powerful to say. How about the final comments? And I'll start with the mayor. There's also an opportunity for you to pitch to this audience.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. There's nothing I love more than talking about Garden Grove, and so now I get to talk a little more specifically about Little Saigon. It is truly such a vibrant and rich location within our city. It's such a beautiful community that balances that rich culture with obviously thriving businesses. It's home to 100,000 Vietnamese Americans with 53,000 Vietnamese Americans living in the city of Garden Grove. So with that comes a great responsibility to highlight and showcase what Little Saigon has to offer. And I have to say, Garden Grove is also definitely a foodie destination. We are the only James Beard family-owned restaurant. It is Phat 79. They are right here in Garden Grove. And I have to say, all businesses have chosen Garden Grove to be their OG locations. And some of you might even be in the room today. We have Seven Leaves, Boiling Crab, Redards, Hawk and Lao, and I just mentioned Advanced Beauty College right here in Garden Grove. It means a lot when businesses are willing to say, we want to be in Garden Grove first. That's a big deal. Not only that, but obviously we know we have visitors coming to Little Saigon from around our county, but also internationally. And so we have people visiting events that we have in Garden Grove from all over the world, on Flower Street, on historic Main Street, and just this year, the UVSA Tech Festival is back at Garden Grove Park in Garden Grove where it belongs. Our school districts are also making a powerful impact to showcase all that there is to offer within the Vietnamese American community. We have an award-winning Vietnamese dual language immersion program in Garden Grove that is growing by leaps and bounds and gets awards constantly. And then we have our technology innovation. That's extremely important to us as well. Dr. Michael Dow, who has Dr. Dow Medical Offices at Garden Grove, is also planning expansions at the corner of Brookhurst and Garden Grove Boulevard, and so we're excited to see what he's planning to do there. And we also were awarded the first round of Jobs First grants so that we could build a community benefits district right in Little Saigon. So making sure we're putting investment back into our little community of Little Saigon. And finally, we have wonderful media as well in Little Saigon that is helping the community stay up to date on real news as well as news that impacts them here locally. We have the Saigon Broadcasting Television Network, Via Bao Daily News, and Little Saigon News. So when we talk about Little Saigon, Garden Grove is also an epicenter in and of itself, and the heart is beating very strongly in Little Saigon and this community. It's a passionate, beautiful, vibrant community, and we know the sky's the limit in the future. And so if you want to bring your investments to Garden Grove, to Little Saigon, you will find good people, you will find purpose, and you will find great potential. Thank you.
How about a nice round of applause for Mayor Stephanie Thompson, please? Thank you. Folks, can I request one last time to keep it down a little bit, final comments? So I greatly appreciate it if you can keep the volume down. Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having us this day. It was an honor to be here, along with my colleagues. For Westminster, one of those old sayings in baseball is if you build it, they will come. In our city, our community, our residents are thirsty for destinations. They're thirsty for new business. They're thirsty for new restaurants. And I'm confident that any business in our city will be successful because our community is thirsty for it. We used to have Westminster Mall was before back in the day was where everybody wanted to be, and I think our community misses that. And so I'm confident that any business in our city will be successful. Westminster, taking to one of my wife's sayings, we have the beach weather, but we don't have the beach taxes. So we have geographically we're a destination location in Westminster. We have great residents, we have a great community, we have a great city staff, we have a great police department, we have the biggest tech parade there is, a big successful tech parade, and other people from all around want to come and be part of it. And I'm proud, very proud of our staff and the job that they've been doing with that. And so Westminster, I'm proud to be a Westminster resident for all these years. I grew up in the area. I grew up between Garden Grove, Stanton, and Westminster. So my whole life I've been here, and I don't see myself living anywhere else. And Westminster, we have a lot to offer. I see a very big potential. Hopefully that our Westminster Mall redevelopment gets up and running one of these days. So we have a lot. In Westminster, we have a lot of buying power. So build something in our residents, they're gonna patronize it. You're gonna get people out of your business. I'm so excited about the new generation that we have a lot of younger generation businesses, and they bring so much energy to our community, and I love seeing that. So for me, I'm very proud to also be neighbors to City of Garden Grove, or City of Phuong, Santa Ana. We have a great community. We have a great East American, just thriving energy, the entrepreneurship of the Vietnamese American, but along with all immigrants. The immigrant is the backbone of our nation. It's just a fact. Whether people like it or not, that's a fact. This country was built on the backs of refugees, and nothing's going to change that, and it's going to continue to be that way. And we're going to be successful because I know we all together, no matter what nationality you are, we all come from somewhere, and we all support each other, and we need to support each other because at the end of the day, we're all on the same boat. We're all in the same boat, and we need to help each other succeed, not just in business, but in life. Help each other succeed, and I think that we're going to do that. So again, for me, it's been, I never thought that I would ever be in the position that I am. One of the biggest things that I like about being in the position that I am, it allows me to meet so many new people that I'm just so fond of, and get to learn about their lives and what they do. Why are they giving back to the community? Why are they sacrificing their family time? Why are these people that come out to our council meetings, why are they out there? They care so much. They care and they come out. And so that's what I love to see. And me being here amongst all you here, it's just something that I love to see and I enjoy. And that's something that I'm proud of, and I'm proud of all you here as well. So please come to Westminster, spend your money, and I guarantee you that you're going to have fun.
Well, thank you. Thank you. How about a nice round of applause for the Vice Mayor? Thank you.
wow, why is Phuong falling? You guys have such a nice road and street living. It didn't happen by accident. So please, I want to recognize Scott Smith. That's his job, public work. Right? And please stop by our booth. So we have our Phuong Valley booth, City Hall over there. Go see Victor's. So he's in the business development. It's right on the top of the corner over there. Come see if you have any questions. Hopefully he can answer some new questions. If not, I'm sure he'll get back to you. I also want to mention, please go see Laura at the Phuong Valley Chamber of Commerce. If you have any questions about the business in Phuong Valley, they also help us, the multicultural Chamber of Commerce, put together with the Vietnamese and many others communities around this city. So come see her before you leave. And last, we just have OCPA join Phuong Valley. Well, I should say, Phuong Valley just joined OCPA. Why do we do that? Because we want to save 3% to our resident and 3% to our businesses. So they're that corner over there. So if you have any questions, go see OCPA and talk to them. And last thing I have said is, this city offers so many incredible things. So for me to sit here and bore you with all the answers, get curious. Come see our city. Visit our city. We'll welcome you. With open arms, any question you ask, I'm sure our staff is happy to talk to you. Once again, I want to also thank you, the audience, for being here. I want to thank you for those online watching us. For our fourth speaker here, the panel today, and also thank you, Doctor, for your great questions. I look forward to seeing everyone until next time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. How about let's round of applause for the interview. Thank you.
Great, well, since I'm last, I'm going to stand up, okay? Once again, my name is Vien. I am the first Vietnamese American elected in the city of Santa Ana. And so why should you build your business? Why should you open your business? And why should you invest in Santa Ana? Because success is preparation plus opportunity. Santa Ana has been preparing for you. We've updated our general plan. We've made it easier to get permits. We've made it easier and cheaper to run a small business. And where's the opportunity? The opportunity is right now. The opportunity is having all of you here and coming into the city of Santa Ana. If you want to expand out of Little Saigon and grow Little Saigon and find a new base, come to Santa Ana because we have 70% Latinos who are really excited to find out more about your businesses. If you are looking for an opportunity of young people, of workers, of educated people, Santa Ana has that for you. If you're looking for arts and culture, we have that. Whatever it is you need, we're here to help. We're here to make sure that anyone who has a dream, who's willing to work hard, and who's willing to invest in the city of Santa Ana is able to do so, is able to thrive, able to succeed. And let's be honest, we're all in here to make sure our revenues go up. Whatever's good for y'all is good for these cities. So thank you to the City of Garden Grove for hosting, the City of Westminster, and the City of Fountain Valley for collaborating. And make sure you talk to our staff because we are here to help you. Because what helps Little Saigon thrive is going to help Santa Ana thrive. Thank you.
All right, so all of our members here, panelists, thank you for a wonderful conversation, and thanks for allowing me to moderate. If you're interested in the study that Councilor Fulton did, let me know. It's available for free for you to download, and we hope to update it every couple of years so we can keep it going. Thank you so very much again. Appreciate it.
How do you get a standing ovation? Is that like
đó là lễ phát triển 50 năm của người Việt phát triển lý đô Sài Gòn mà con. Cái đó chương trình là chỉ mới sơ sơ thôi, chưa có bắt đầu mà con. Này là mới có mấy nghị viên với là mấy cái thị trưởng bàn kế hoạch 5 năm gì tới gì tiếp theo đó mà. Này là có thành phố nè, mấy thành phố này nè bà con. Chắc mấy người này bảo trợ nè. Chương trình này mấy người này bảo trợ. Chương trình chưa bắt đầu bà con.